Clap cut two. What is up, guys and gals? Hope everybody has had a great past couple weeks since I've last spoken with you. Today, a little bit of a, we'll say, topical video. I want to talk about time management for a busy college student. It's something that I'm working on still. And I say that this is a topical video because what you guys are watching was recorded about 2, maybe 3 days before this video is going up. If I can do math, 2 days. 2 days before this video is going up. The reason behind that is last week, for me anyway, was midterm, so I got super busy, super swamped, just did not have the time that I wanted to be able to properly sit down, put my words onto paper, and then from that into the video. Because as much as I do want my thoughts to kind of free flow to you guys, I do want to sit down beforehand, kind of think it out, and figure out a rough idea of what I'm actually going to be saying before I put this camera in front of me and just start talking. So, like I said, today I want to talk about time management, how I've been staying on track for the most part with all of my schoolwork, my studies, even my time outside of school to maintain friendships, make sure that I can hit the gym every day that I need to, my work schedule fits in with everything else. I've managed to really start planning out my whole day. Even, weeks in advance, I can have a general idea of what's going on after I started doing all these things. So one of the biggest things that has really helped me, at least when I first started doing all of this, planning and actually kind of figuring out how to plan my day, how to plan my life, is I just grabbed a simple notebook. This thing is in tatters now because of how much I actually use this on a day-to-day basis. And I started out with this just as a checklist of things that I wanted to do every single day. It doesn't, let me skip past my notes. It's just a plain lined notebook, so it's nothing special. I think this was $2 at a Dollar Tree or something. It was very cheap, but it was a way for me to get all the ideas that were just kind of random, bouncing in my brain, out of that onto a sheet of paper. And the moment I did that and started just writing out that simple checklist of things that I needed to do, not only just throughout a day, but have, a checklist of things that I needed to do throughout the week as well, it started becoming a lot easier for me to stay on top of things. I don't know if you guys, as students out there, ever struggled with just having so much homework and studying and things to do that it felt impossible to kind of add anything else to your plate, adding those extra responsibilities with work and maybe gym. I go to the gym every single day, and once a week I have D&D sessions with a couple of my friends. That was something that I would not have been able to do, both of those things, along with holding a job as well that I'm working 30 plus hours a week at. Yes, I'm not full-time. I don't know anybody that can do a full-time job and student full-time. If you can, much better than I am, so I applaud you for that. But being able to hold all of those responsibilities at the same time while maintaining, I'm not going to toot my own horn too much, but maintaining pretty good grades at school. I have A's and B's in all of my classes, and I've been holding that, that grade pretty consistently just by having things written down. Now, like I said, it started out just as a checklist, so all of the homework that I needed to do, the couple random tasks throughout the day that needed to get done, it was just a general get this stuff done at some point. So that general checklist slowly evolved into more of an actual planner. I started doing a bunch of research on tons of different apps and, more digital, paper, what I can do to really start efficiently planning out my day, and something that I'm sure any student out there is sick of hearing. I started learning Notion. And honestly, I'm not great at it yet. I still have a lot left to learn, but Notion Calendar has been a lifesaver. No, this is not sponsored unless Notion wants to. But really just learning that platform has truly been a lifesaver for me. Being able to actively plan out my days, if I can figure out how the editing stuff works, I'll take some screenshots of stuff and start putting screenshots up here. But being able to have those actual sections of my day completely cordoned off on the time when I have things specifically scheduled out for my day, it has really just brought me a lot more freedom in my day-to-day life, which sounds counterintuitive. I'm putting a lot of restrictions on myself, making sure that I'm scheduling things when they need to be done, even beforehand, and cordoning off specific parts of my day that are for specific tasks has just opened up a whole nother door for me on seeing how much time I actually have throughout the day to do all of the other things that I want, but B, and what I think is more important, is it's allowed me to move the things around and stay productive to a point where I actually have that freedom to where I'm not stressed about, am I going to miss an assignment? I'm not. I have it all written down. It's all up on the app. Every single assignment that needs to be done, I have tagged per day. I have specific homework tags put out to where I have slots cordoned off to where all that I do for those 2 hours is homework. Study section for an hour. I'm tutoring a few people, so having those tutoring sections cordoned off. Knowing what's going on in my day makes it so that I can do so much more in that day. And with that, I wanted to talk about one last thing that I actually recently just went to that has really made an impact and kind of pushed me to make this video more than the 2 other topics that I wanted to talk about. For time management specifically, and it may sound weird, is a finance summit at my college. They hosted one where I got to talk to a few people and learn some things, not only about the finance side of the world, which I'm in accounting, I like numbers, I like money. So learning all of that, A, was really cool for me, but B, just the knowledge that they had on not only managing your money, but managing your time as well, really pushed me to make this, little talk for you guys. I had to pause for a second. You guys aren't going to see this, but I actually had to go and look back at my notes from this finance summit to just double check that I had all the information correctly. But there were 3 main things that I learned from this talk that I had with these gentlemen that stuck with me the most, to the point where I actually wrote them down to remember them for, future times whenever I needed a refresher on things. And I want to share that with you guys as well. Yes, I am looking at my notes. Don't judge me too much. I'm still learning all this YouTube stuff. But, and just to prove it, I have notes. I have a lot of notes on things. Yes, this notebook has turned into not only just a planner for me, but also a general kind of just notes for the day, thought journal thing. I'll talk about that another time and why this notebook is steadily moving away from that planner into a thought journal. But that's a topic for another video because I don't have time to edit all of that. So let's start with the first thing that I learned from the summit. And number one, it's a acronym, alliteration, whatever you want to call it. It is the 5 P's of planning. So the 5 P's of planning goes: poor prior planning promotes procrastination. It's an alliteration, pretty easy to remember, but that line, that group of words together really expresses probably the biggest thing when it comes to planning and time management, and why I felt so stressed and just didn't think I had time for everything before I started doing this, was the fact that I would put off everything. I would start procrastinating everything I did until the last moment that it needed to happen. And a really good quote from that talk that I listened to was kind of like a joke, funny, haha remark to them, but what stuck with me from that is the moment you procrastinate, you're already a pro at it. That's why it has pro in the front. You're a professional procrastinator the moment you start putting things off. And once you're a pro at something, you just continue to do it. So trying to break that habit of procrastinating things by writing stuff down, journaling, and setting up those time barriers for myself was the first biggest hurdle that I had to overcome. And once I started doing that, everything else really fell into place. So the second thing that I want to talk about, which I was just doing kind of mentally myself without actually knowing the true name for it until I went to this talk, is something called the Eisenhower Matrix. It was kind of a plan, and that was popularized by President Eisenhower, where he could look at pretty much any task and determine, based off of if it was important or if it was urgent, how he should deal with that task. I don't have it all memorized, so I have the notes sitting right next to me, and I'm going to try and put up a little diagram of the Eisenhower Matrix. I'm sorry if I'm not, a great artist. It could just be a funny little MS Paint job thing. If it is, laugh at me in the comments. Oh well. But I was already doing this for quite some time without even realizing that it had a name and it really had any historical significance. But I'm going to show you guys what I was shown through that. So the Eisenhower Matrix was basically split into 4 main parts. You had whether or not the task was urgent or just not urgent at all, whether it was important or if it just wasn't important at all. So if the task was important and urgent, that's something that you have to do right away. If it fits both of those, kind of constraints on there, do that immediately. That is kind of your oh no moment. That's what you have to get done first. That takes priority over everything. Once you get out of that first quadrant, the 2 right next to it are the ones where you can really start getting into planning things. What I recommend, which has worked for me the most, is if something is important but not urgent, schedule that as an actual time block on your calendar. If you guys are using a calendar, if you're not, make sure that it's written in a list somewhere, whatever, system works for you guys, but that has to get done, maybe not right that second, but definitely within a certain time frame. Now when you get into something that's urgent, but it's not important to do, you should definitely plan that out, or pair that with another task that you're already doing. You can move things around, but if you already have something planned at that time, say you're making yourself dinner at 7 o'clock, and that call comes in, pair it up with that planned task that is more important to you and your well-being, that really just makes it easier to add more things into your day. Now, if something is not important and not urgent, just don't do it. Don't even put it on your list. That is a distraction that you should not be doing. I'm a victim of this as much as anybody else in my generation, of the whole TikTok phenomena, where you'll open up your phone for 30 seconds and just get sucked into that scrolling loop. I hate it, but it's given me a lot of really good ideas, and also I've found some really good music on there for my workouts and stuff. But making sure that scrolling time is not even on my radar has helped me get away from that unimportant, unurgent task. Really, that's not even a task, it's more of a distraction, but it's helped me step away from that so much more, to the point where I'm almost never on, my TikTok or my phone really all that much anymore either. And the last thing that I want to say, when it comes to your planning and your time, you do have to think of it as a budget. You only have 24 hours in the day. If you're a normal person, you're sleeping for 8. If you're me, 5 or 6 hours a day. And of that last portion of your day where you're not sleeping, you have to eat, shower, bathroom, guaranteed things that all take up time. What are you going to spend let's make it a nice even number, what are you going to spend that last 12 to 14 hours on in your day? So like I said, you only have so much time in that day, so when you're budgeting out your time allotted, make sure you save some for yourself. As much as being hyper productive and being able to get done 1,000,001 things in a day, you are going to burn out so fast. I struggled with that one of my first semesters going to school, where I put 180% of myself into it all of the time. I gave myself zero leeway, zero time, did not allow for any enjoyment for myself, and that just sucked the life out of me. It made it to where I could barely even concentrate in class. So now when I'm budgeting out my time and I'm budgeting out my days, planning things, using the calendars to block stuff out and make sure that I have everything done that I need to get done, I still make sure to put time away for myself. Being able to sit down and read a book, or I'm a big nerd, so building or painting Warhammer figurines. I'm not too much into the tabletop game, I just really like collecting the figures. Reading, painting. I listen to a lot of music. I have a record player with some vinyls that I need to catch up on of my collection. And being able to play video games, watch YouTube, which I can usually pair with me doing homework, is just kind of have a video playing in the background. Yes, I grew up in that era. Yes, I need sound to focus on stuff. I hate it. It's a habit that I'm trying to break, but being able to save that time for myself through planning out the rest of my day has definitely made a huge impact on myself and my enjoyment this time around of this semester of going to school. And part of me planning that out is, now that I've added a little extra to my plate with making sure that I have a video for you guys every week or every other week, is I do have a couple more projects and a little less time for myself. But that's not such a bad thing, because it's still something that I enjoy doing. I really like making these videos. Yes, it's not the easiest thing in the world. The video editing side isn't all that fun. I need to get better at it. And the recording side of things is still a little awkward. I'm still trying to learn how to have a conversation with the camera. But doing things that are both productive and I enjoy has definitely helped. So I really want to thank you guys for sticking with me so far, dealing with the rants and the rambling, the poor production quality. We are definitely going to get better as time goes on. But I just want to thank you guys for that. Last little note for anybody who has stayed this long, definitely not by the time this video comes up, most likely by the time the next video comes up, I will be having a Discord server made for anybody who's in college and, or really just a student in general, who wants to get in touch with other students. I plan on having a few things more so for the, we'll say adult crowd who are in school and those professionals who are still studying things, and something for your more casual students as well. I want to be able to cater to a bunch of different people, but that is a plan that is in the works. Like I said, by the next video that should be out, so until then, I apologize, I don't really have much. If you guys have any questions or want to make fun of me, I'm chill with it either. Please throw it down in the comments. I am learning this YouTube stuff still, so if you guys want to throw me a like, throw me a comment, maybe subscribe, you guys will see me again. And until next time, peace out. Hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day. And if you're not, drink some water, have a good meal, take a nap. It makes everybody's day better. And peace out. I'll see you guys.